Here's a short lesson about the word loose. Loose. It sounds like lose, but it's a different word. This is a wedding ring. I'm spinning it. That's called spinning. I'm spinning the ring. This is a wedding ring. I'm married. This is a ring, a wedding ring. The word loose and the word tight are opposites. If I put my ring on this finger, oh, that's too loose. That doesn't fit. It's too loose. That's too loose. If I put it on this finger, that's too tight. That's too tight. This is loose. This is tight. This is just right. That fits just right. Tom, can you lend me some money? I need about $20, just for a little while. I'll pay you back Monday. Oh, sure. Here's 20. You promise? You promise you'll pay me back on Monday? Yes, I promise. I swear. I'll pay you back on Monday. I promise. Did you borrow some money from Tom? Did Tom lend you some money? Yes, I borrowed $20. Tom lent me $20. Did you promise to pay him back? Yeah, I promised. I promised I'd pay him back on Monday. There are two more verbs that I'd like to teach you, that I would like you to know. They're not used very often. You won't say them very often, but you will see them and you will hear them. You already know what they mean. One is the word must. Must, M-U-S-T. It means have to. As in, you must study to learn, or you must have money to buy things. It's just the same as you have to have money to buy things. You have to study to learn. You must study to learn. It's kind of a fancy word. The other word is may, as in might. It expresses a possibility. One of its meaning is a possibility. Tom, are you going to Boston tomorrow? I may go to Boston tomorrow. I may not. It may rain. It may rain. It's the same as saying I might go to Boston, or it might rain. May can also mean can I? Is it permitted? May I have a napkin, please? Can I have a napkin, please? Or, Tom, may I say something? I think you spelled a word wrong. Sometimes the word must can be used like in an advertisement, as in, it's a terrific movie, don't miss it, it's a must-see. Means you have to see it. That's just talk. I mean, you don't have to see it. They're just trying to get you to spend your money. These are stacks of quarters. Stacks of quarters. This stack has more money than this stack, and this stack has more money than this stack, and this stack has more money than this stack. This stack has the most money. This stack has the least money. This is the most, This is the least. Okay? Now, these are quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? 8 quarters. I'm going to put some quarters in here. How many quarters did I put in? How many quarters? Gee, Tom, I don't know. I know, all I know is you must have put in at least 8. There's at least 8 quarters in there. Okay? I know there's at least 8. There may be more. Now I'm going to put some quarters in. How many quarters did I put in? How many quarters did I put in this container? Gee, Tom, I don't know. The most you could have put in was 7. Tom, how long will it take me to drive to Boston? How long will it take to drive from Hyannis to Boston? Well, let's see. It depends on the traffic, but it'll take at least 1 hour, and then I think at the most, it'll take an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes. It'll take at least 1 hour, and at the most, an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes. Tom, what's the weather like today? What kind of weather is it today? Oh, today it's cold, it's windy, and it's snowing. It's snowing today. That's called snow. It's snowing today. It's cold, it's windy, it's snowing.
The expression at the most can also be said by the words the maximum, or at the least can be said by the words the minimum. How long does it take to get to Boston, Tom? Well, it takes at the most. The maximum amount of time is hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. At the least, the minimum amount of time, at a minimum, it would take an hour, say, just about an hour. Minimum and maximum are opposites. Now, Tom, how much snow do you get in the winter? Oh, I would say we get the maximum amount we get would be a foot, 12 inches. And the minimum, sometimes we don't get any snow. We don't get any snow at all, so sometimes we don't get any snow. Excuse me, Tom. Are you busy? Can I ask you a favor? Oh, sure. Go ahead. What is it? Some of us would like to know how to flip a coin. Can you teach us how to flip a coin? Oh, sure. Just a minute. Let me turn off the radio. First, you need to know how to flick your finger. This is called flicking. You need to practice that. You need to know how to flick. Flick. Then you balance the coin, balance it on your middle finger. Then you prevent the coin from moving with this finger. Then you flick it. Heads or tails, what's your guess? If you guess right, if you guess correctly, you win a lesson. Did Tom show you how to do something? Did he teach you how to do a trick? Yes, he showed us how to flip a coin. He taught us how to do a coin trick. The expressions, can you show me how, or can you tell me how, or can you teach me how, they're all similar and all very useful. If you said, Tom, can you show me how to flip a card over? Can you show me how to flip a card? And I'd say, sure. Or, can you teach me, Tom, can you teach me how to play golf? Can you teach me how to play golf? I'd say, well, maybe. It's hard. It's not something you learn in one day, but I could teach you how. Or let's say you don't know how to say a word. You could say, Tom, can you tell me how to say that word? Can you tell me how to say that word? So yeah, that's imagine. You say that. Imagine. That's how you say that word. Or if you need directions, it's a very polite way to ask for directions. Let's say you are in a city and you are looking for the library. You want a book. You're looking for the library, but you can't find the library. You might say to yourself, I don't know where I am. I think I might be lost. I think I'm lost. I'd better ask someone for directions. I'd better ask. You could say to someone, excuse me, can you tell me how to get to the library, please? Do you know where the library is? I'm not sure where I am. I might be lost. Can you tell me how to get to the library? Oh, okay. You take a right on Main Street. These are a food called beans. Beans. B-E-A-N-S. These are called red beans, red kidney beans. These are red kidney beans. It's important to remember to say, to pronounce the word bin, B-E-E-N, correctly, to say it the right way. B-E-E-N is said bin. It looks like you would say it like seen, as in, have you seen my glasses? Or like between, as in the expression between a rock and a hard place. That's a funny expression. It's an idiom. If you are between a rock and a hard place, you are in a predicament. You are in a difficult situation. You don't want to be between a rock and a hard place. You say the word been as if it was spelled bin, B-I-N. How long have you been studying English? Oh, I've been studying English, let's see, about 6 months now, about half a year. How long has your friend Rebecca been studying English? Oh, Rebecca and I started studying at the same time. She has been studying for half a year, too. She has been studying for 6 months. You will hear the expressions have been, has been, had been, will have been a lot. You will hear them frequently. You will hear them often. Often and frequently are fancy words for a lot. You will hear them all the time. So it's important to learn what they mean. They're hard to use, but it's important to know what they mean. Let's say you have not seen a friend for a long time, not very long, but a month or two, and you see them in the store. One day you're in the store and you see them. You could say, Rebecca, I haven't seen you in a while. How have you been? How is everything? How have you been? And Rebecca might say, I've been fine. How have you been? Have been or has been means something began in the past and is still happening. It's still going on. It's still going on. She has been sleeping for 9 hours. Means she started sleeping in the past and she's still sleeping. She's been sleeping for 9 hours. If I say, I have been fine, I've been fine, how have you been? It means I was okay in the past and I'm still okay. I've been fine. If you practice the sentence, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a while. Then you learn to pronounce the word been and the word seen. Even though they're spelled somewhat alike, you have to remember how to say them. So, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a while. It's good practice. Phew, it's been a long lesson. But it's been fun, hasn't it? Hasn't it? You will hear the word suppose. Suppose. You'll hear that word a lot. And it has a couple meanings. The first meaning of the word suppose would be the same meaning as when I say, let's say, or let's imagine. Let's say, or suppose you and I are driving to the store together, and while we are on our way to the store, you say, Tom, you're driving too fast. Slow down. Suppose we are in that situation. Suppose you and I are driving to the store.
what do you suppose I would say? What do you think I would say? So there's two meanings to suppose right there. It means think. What do you suppose Tom would say? Or what do you think Tom would say? Or the other meaning is imagine or let's say, as in suppose you and I go to a restaurant. Or you can use it as a suggestion. You can say, suppose you and I go out tonight. It means, what do you think? Should we go out tonight? Those are three ways to use the word suppose. The other meaning is suppose to. Suppose to. It means an obligation or something you should do. Okay, let's suppose that I have a doctor's appointment today at 10 o'clock. I am supposed to go to the doctor today at 10 o'clock. I have a doctor's appointment. But you notice, you see that I am still having my coffee. I am still at home. I am still at home and it's 5 after 10. You could say, oh, excuse me, Tom, aren't you supposed to be at the doctor? Don't you have a doctor's appointment at 10? Whew. I might say, oh, holy moly, you're right. I was supposed to be at the doctor's at 10. I'll call and tell them I'll be late. I'll call and tell them I'll be late. I was supposed to be there 5 minutes ago. Or here's another example. In the last lesson I said, you met a friend, which is singular, single person, a friend. And then I referred to the friend as them, which is plural. You might say, Tom, did you make a mistake? Aren't you supposed to say him or her when you refer to a single person? Him or her? I would say, oh, you're right, but sometimes if we're speaking fast or speaking casually, we might call him or her them or em. Talk to them, speak to them, speak to them. I know we're not supposed to, but hey, nobody's perfect. What do you suppose Tom meant when he said, nobody's perfect? Oh, I don't know. I suppose it's just an expression. I suppose it's just a saying. Nobody's perfect. This bowl of fruit has 2 grapefruit, 2 red apples, and a pear. Let's suppose you are traveling, that you are going places on your vacation. You are sightseeing. You are looking at interesting places. You're traveling. Let's say that today is the 13th. How do you tell me about your travels? Where did you go? Where did you go first? If today is the 13th, where did you go first? Well, Tom, first I went to New York. I went to New York City. How long were you there? How long were you there? Well, I got there on the 5th. I arrived on the 5th and left on the 9th So I was there for 4 days. I was there for 4 full days. I stayed in New York City for 4 days. And then what? Well, then I went to Boston. Where are you now? Well, I'm in Boston now. How long have you been in Boston? How long have you been there? I've been in Boston since the 10th. Since the 10th. I've been here 4 days. I've been in Boston for 4 days. How long are you going to stay in Boston? How long are you staying there? Oh, I'm just staying one more day. I'm staying one more day. I am leaving the day after tomorrow. I'm leaving the day after tomorrow. I'm leaving on the 15th. Then where are you going? Well, then I'm just going back home. I'm going back home to Florida. How long are you going to stay in Florida? Well, I don't know. I like Florida, but until I have some money and some time, and then I will travel again. But for the time being, I'll be in Florida. I'll stay in Florida for a while. But I like to travel. This is a shoe. This is my shoe. This is called a tennis shoe. This is Tom's shoe. This is called a shoelace. A shoelace. You lace your shoes up. You also call it tie your shoes. You tie your shoes. Right now my laces are untied. My shoelaces are untied. Now I'm going to tie a knot. This is called tying your shoes. Tying your shoes, that's a knot. I tied a knot in my shoes. I laced my shoes up. My shoe was untied. I tied my shoe. This is a drawing of a man. I made a drawing of a man. I drew a man. It's 2:45. 2:45 in the afternoon. What is this person doing? This person is what is called a creature of habit. A creature of habit. That means he likes to do the same thing every day. He likes a routine. He's a creature of habit. He likes a routine. It's 2:45 in the afternoon. What is this person doing? He's walking. This person is walking. He usually takes a walk or goes for a walk in the afternoon. He usually walks between 2 and 3 in the afternoon every day. It's his routine. It's his exercise routine. Okay, let's pretend this is you. Describe the same thing. Describe you at 2:45 in the afternoon. What am I doing? I am taking a walk. I am walking. I am going for a walk. I am walking. I am taking a walk. Words like walk, look, eat, go, seem, feel, realize are called verbs. I am going to talk about verb tenses in this lesson. You don't have to remember what they are called. You don't have to know their names, but you have to understand them when they are used. You must recognize them when you read them or when you hear them. You don't need to know the names. That's not important. after some practice, after a little while, after some studying, you will be able to use them when you are talking. Okay? Don't worry about what they are called. I am walking. I am walking is called the present continuous. It means it's going on. It's continuing. The present continuous tense. I walk, as in, usually I walk at 2 o'clock. That's the simple present. I walk, the simple present tense. Okay? If I call you on your cell phone at 2:45, no, I call you at 2:30. Let's say 2:30. I call you at 2:30. And I say, hey, hi, how are you? Well, what are you doing? And you want to tell me what you're doing, tell me about your exercise schedule. You could say, I have been walking. I'm walking. I have been walking for 30 minutes. I have been walking for 30 minutes. That have been walking is present perfect continuous. Present perfect continuous. Have been walking. You could say, hi, how are you doing? What are you doing? You're walking? Yes, and you could say, I have walked for 30 minutes. I have walked for 30 minutes. That's the present perfect. I have been walking, present perfect continuous. I have walked, present perfect. Okay? What are you doing? Well, I have been walking for 30 minutes, or I've walked for 30 minutes. I still have 30 minutes to go in my routine. If it was someone else, if it was a man, you would say, he has walked for 30 minutes. He has walked for 30 minutes. Or he has been walking for 30 minutes. Okay? It's not over. He's still walking, and he has been walking, or he has walked for 30 minutes. Those are the tenses that have to do with the present. Okay? Walk, stop, stand, kneel, stand up, walk. This is you. You like to take a walk every day. You like to take a walk every day. Walking is good for you. Good for you. It keeps you healthy. You usually walk for an hour from 2 to 3 in the afternoon. Tell me what you did yesterday. Tell me what you did yesterday. What did you do yesterday? Well, I studied English in the morning. Then I went for a walk in the afternoon. I walked for an hour. The words studied, went, walked are verbs in the simple past tense. Whatever you did is over, it's finished, it's past, it's done. That's the simple past tense. Okay, let's talk about the past continuous. Your name is Leica. Hi, Leica, it's Tom. I stopped by your house yesterday, but you weren't there. Oh, Tom, I was there most of the day. Maybe you came by while I was taking my walk. I was out walking from 2 to 3 yesterday. You must have come by then. You must have come by while I was taking my walk. I was taking and I was walking are examples of past continuous, the past continuous tense. The past continuous is for actions that were still going on at a particular time in the past. I was walking, I was taking my walk when you stopped by my house. Sorry I missed you. I was walking when you stopped by my house. Sorry I missed you. Let's look at the past perfect tense. Let's say that yesterday, while you were walking, your shoe came untied at 2:45. Your shoe came untied. Your shoe came untied at 2:45. You stopped walking to tie your shoe. You stopped walking to tie your shoe. Then you got a surprise. Something unexpected happened. Tell me about it. What happened? Well, I had walked for a few miles when my shoe came untied. I think I had been walking about 45 minutes. When I knelt down to tie my shoe, I found a $10 bill. I found a $10 bill. $10 bill all crumpled up by the side of the road. I guess it was my lucky day. I had walked is past perfect. I had been walking is past perfect continuous. They both refer to an action that happened or was happening when something else happened. She had been sleeping for 9 hours when her friend called. Tom had been talking about verb tenses, but then he got bored and went to get some coffee. Okay, as long as we are talking about verbs, we might as well keep going. As long as we're talking about verbs, we might as well keep going. How do you eat something? How do you eat something? Well, first you take a bite. You take a bite, and then you chew. You chew it, and then you swallow. And then the food goes to your stomach, and it digests your food. Okay, here's a couple things about manners. Never chew with your mouth open. Never talk and chew at the same time, like I am doing. It's bad manners. It's impolite. Okay? Don't do that. Don't chew and talk at the same time. The word swallow. I swallow. Has a past form. I swallowed. And it has a past participle called swallowed. I have swallowed. I have swallowed. Have swallowed is the past participle of swallow. Okay, bear with me here. Bear with me. I'm trying to make a point. Bear with me means have some patience. I'm going to explain things. Bear with me. Bear with me a minute. Now, let's say eat, the verb eat. I eat. I always eat at the same time. I always eat at 7 o'clock in the morning. I eat. I ate at 7:30 yesterday, though. Yesterday I ate.
I ate at 7:30. That's the past form of the verb eat. And the day before yesterday, I had eaten by 6 o'clock. It was really early. I had eaten already by 6 o'clock. That's the past participle of the verb eat. So, some verbs are very easy, like walk. I walk, I walked, I have walked. That's called a regular verb. A regular verb. There are many irregular verbs, verbs that are not regular, that we will have to memorize. We will have to just become familiar with them, so when you hear them, you understand them. We know the verb to go. To go is an irregular verb. Tom, did you go somewhere last week? Did you go somewhere last week? I stopped by a few times, but you weren't there. You weren't home. Yes, I went to Boston. How long were you gone? How long were you gone? Oh, I was gone for 3 days. Go is the present form. Went is the past form. And gone is the past participle of the verb to go. A verb also has a thing called a voice, like I have a voice. This is my voice. It's a little deep. Some people have high voices like this. This is my voice. Verbs have voices too. I can say, I ate the apple. You could say, Tom ate the apple. You could also say that apple was eaten by Tom. I ate the apple is called the active voice. The apple was eaten by Tom is called the passive voice. You need to know the passive voice because you use the past participle of the verb when you are using the passive voice. Okay? Was eaten. Eaten is the past participle of eat, to eat. Okay? We'll try and do as many examples and study as many irregular verbs as we can in the next few lessons. If I say people all over the world speak English, you know what I mean. I'm saying that in the active voice. If I say English is spoken by people all over the world, that's the passive voice. Spoken is the past participle of the word speak, the verb speak. If you're going to speak well, especially if you're going to write well, the active voice is a stronger voice. It's more effective. Passive voice is a little weak. English is spoken by people all over the world is not as good as people all over the world speak English. We need to learn some more vocabulary, so let's learn some. This is a tree. This is a tree. This part of a tree is called the trunk. The trunk. This part of a tree is called a limb. These are limbs. One of them is called a limb. And the next part is called a branch. These are branches. Branches. And the smallest part is called a twig. A twig. It's a twig. This is a branch. This is a limb. This is the trunk. The trunk. The outside of a tree is covered in bark. This is called bark. A tree is covered in bark. This
is another kind of tree and another kind of bark. This is a forest. Okay, these are bricks. They're called bricks. I think they're made of clay. Okay, bricks. This is grass. This is grass. This is a piece of wood. Wood. These are stones. Stones. A lot of them together is called gravel. They're stones. This is one stone. Okay? These are leaves. Leaves. Dead leaves. They're not alive any longer. They're not alive anymore. They're dead. Dead and alive are opposites. The leaves fell from the tree. The leaves fell from this tree. It's called an oak tree. This is called a driveway. It's where you drive your car. It's called a driveway. And this water is called a pond. A body of water like this is called a pond. And that is called a bridge. A bridge is a structure that goes from one place to another. That's a bridge. That's made out of wood. So this is a pond and that's a bridge. And those are trees. These are big stones. Big stones are called rocks. These are rocks. A rock is a big stone. This part here is called dirt or soil. Soil is a fancier word for dirt. Dirt. Oh, my fingers got dirty. They got a little dirty. This is called dirt or soil. And this is part of a fence. That's a fence. A fence. That's a fence rail. The top one and that one are called rails. Fence rails. This part is called a post. A post. A fence rail and a fence post. This is a bench. This is a bench. This bench is old and the wood is rotten. The wood rotted. The wood is rotten. It's a very old bench. You sit on a bench. If you ask somebody, would you like to sit down? Here, sit here on this bench. Well, not on this one. You could fall down if you sat on this one. It might break. It's a little rotten. Sometimes people talk about plants and animals. Plants are things that grow like trees. When you put plants together like this and it works like a fence, it's called a hedge. I'm walking up the road. I'm walking up the road right now. These are called mail boxes. You know what they are. You get your mail in a mailbox. That's an old one. That's mine.